impossible for me to be able to unbundle everything in 10 minutes. But essentially, the slides that I've put together are certainly quite a few elements that would give you an indication of some of the things I want to talk about today. And I'm going to be very short and sweet for 10 minutes, because immediately right after this, I'm shooting straight to the airport as I'm flying out to Singapore for another conference. Now, but first of all, I want to talk about who is John Lombela. I am an entrepreneur and originally born in the DRC. I am from Congo, and I came here 17 years ago for me to be able to study, to further my education in the technology space. So I graduated at the Toronto University of Technology, where I majored in information and communication technology and specializing in software development. So I'm a software architect, I'm a software engineer, and my journey in the whole blockchain space started off early on in 2013. I mean, I launched an IT consulting practice whereby we provide solutions to our customers on the cloud, and every single year as a software engineer, I always looked into new technologies that I would either learn for us to be able to offer these solutions to our clients, but at the same time, or just like, understand exactly what are the trends and what is going on. I first came about the term Bitcoin, like most of you guys know, in 2012. But immediately, as a software guy, I knew it was a new form of money transfer, payments, and whatnot. But it was not until 2015 that I was able to really understand the true power of Bitcoin beyond the aspect of money. I understood first the technology and realizing that, this is more than just money. It is a new, groundbreaking technology that is definitely transforming the way we are interacting and changing and sending value amongst people, a new medium of exchange. But I also have corporate investment banking expertise, where my internal clients were different guys in departments of compliance, legal, fraud, and governance at a Standard Bank group, which then led me to really fall in love with the world of finance, and led me to be able to found Innovecs Capital, my other business that is an investment advisory firm, but at the same time as well a private fund that allows us to be able to focus entirely in digital assets and blockchain technology, as well as for IR, other technologies like IoT and machine learning. So we are, around the world, we have created this huge network allowing us to be able to invest in these technologies. But also we do provide education for people who are looking to tap into the world of blockchain, or either are looking to become a participant in one way or the other. Now, what do I do today? I speak around the world pretty much as a blockchain evangelist, and one of the reasons why I'm going to be traveling out this afternoon as well. And over there, I've just put together quite a few events where I've spoken around the world. I mean, the first one there is in Singapore. I was on a panel discussion, but also talking about blockchain technology as a trust protocol for a new economy. And the one in the middle is just about 3 weeks ago in Los Angeles, where I was on a panel discussion and talking about tokenization, investing, and trading globally as well. And those are some of the things that the blockchain technology is able to allow us to pretty much achieve. And next week I'll be talking to Dubai about building the Wall Street of Africa. I am from the DRC, and I'm talking about existing projects that we are on the ground and working on developing solutions, whereby we're tackling the mining sector, the mining industry, for us to be able to provide blockchain technology to do responsible sourcing, and unlocking great potential for a tremendous trillion-dollar market that exists out of Africa and pretty much from the DRC. We have presidential support from the new president of the DRC, who is pretty much for the digital space and is endorsing the new plan laid out towards digital. And through blockchain technology, we are here to be able to help that particular country unlock its potential and help create a new economy on a digital space. So, for us to be able to understand a few things, I mean, most of you guys do understand and remember the aspect, what happened early on with the boom of the internet, right? So a lot of people were very skeptical about what technology could do at that time. I mean, people couldn't even understand what the email, the mail, the post office could be replaced by us being able to send emails today. I mean, how many of you in this room do go to the post office to send emails all the time? I mean, we actually just do it pretty much as easily and as quickly as possible through email, through our devices, and today through smartphones. So it is technology like these that really reinvented and completely challenged the old way and traditional businesses, the brick and mortar setup, whereby we also remember the dot-com bubble. So many opportunities, so many people flocked into these technology companies, invested in these companies, and I remember this company called pets.com, somebody who wanted to sell pets online that went bust pretty much. But companies like Amazon stayed afloat, and today they are a success. But we all have lived through the dot-com bubble. And I remember I was still a young individual at that time, just 2 years before I came through to South Africa. And I remember that, first of all, I didn't understand so much about the stock market. I didn't understand so much about being able to invest in these companies. But I was always fascinated about technology at that time. And I realized pretty much in 2008, what happened is the word Bitcoin and the white paper that was released by the Satoshi Nakamoto considered to be either an individual or a group of people pertaining to the skills set that was actually used to produce that white paper, but also the blockchain network. I started diving into this and realized that, you know what, this is a true powerful force that is disrupting the way we are doing business today. And the blockchain technology falls actually in the fourth industrial revolution as a groundbreaking technology, pretty much the next internet, and that to be the internet of value, or the new protocol, like I like to call it, for a new digital economy. So many of you guys hear about the word Bitcoin as a form of money, but Bitcoin with a capital B is first of all a technology. Before it is money, it is a technology. And that technology couldn't have existed unless another piece of technology, the underlying layer called blockchain, is able to sustain it. But Bitcoin with a smaller b comes in as this currency or this exchange of value that allows people to be able to compensate or remunerate everybody on the network to make it an unbreakable network. And as a matter of fact, the blockchain network is the most secure network around the world, never been hacked. Those that have been hacked are essentially rails built on top, or platforms or other protocols built on top of that particular technology. So it makes it an invaluable piece of technology that we need to be able to use today. So, but because I'm talking about how this is going to change the world, let's look into some of these 6 ways blockchain is going to solve some of the problems in Africa. I mean, I'm going to leave you there to read very quickly, but I mean, for us to be able to achieve that, a new form of trust, because I'm running out of time, a new form of trust is important for us to be able to realize. So my next slide is where I want to talk about the trust. But before I do so, let's look into some of the basic definition of trust from a dictionary perspective. If we look into the first one as a word, so as a verb, we're looking to believe. We see that to believe that someone is good and honest and will not harm you, or that something is safe and reliable. I'm going to go straight down into the number 4 as a noun, a legal arrangement. We all know about this trust, that are essentially legal arrangement in which a person or organization controls properties and or money for another person. But this is what I did last year. I came up with an acronym on this word trust. And I want to share that with you in my next slide in closing, whereby I want to debunk exactly the word trust from a blockchain perspective. So I'm going to start with the first letter, T. T for transparency. If we look into the world today, in fact, the blockchain technology was created on the premise of transparency. We wanted to be able to start having frictionless transactions among people, so we can ensure that all transactions happening among 2 people are done in the most transparent way. The other thing is the word R for reputation. If you think about it today, every single person who goes into an Uber, first of all, checks the rating of that particular driver before you can decide to, ride with him or do something else. So we are now seeing that reputation is becoming a new form of currency as well. Now, the U is for unalterable. Unalterable is essentially the immutable aspect of blockchain, which is essentially the one thing that renders it to be extremely efficient today. So when we are doing transactions, this is done written on the ledger, immutable, and nobody can ever retract that particular transaction. The other one, which I love very much, is the S for smart contract. Now, the smart contract with the Ethereum that has been facilitated by the Ethereum blockchain is one of the most unbelievable way to be able to ensure that an agreement amongst two parties are written in pieces of code that can essentially be self-executed. Essentially, you remove third parties, but you apply the blockchain technology and you implement blockchain smart contracts, which is an agreement essentially between me and you, so we can actually execute a particular agreement. But the fundamental one is the last piece, which is actually the T. After we do all of these things, we are now able to create a new token economy. And I am a firm believer that just like in countries like the DRC or anyone in Africa, we are able to create and stimulate a new economy by using blockchain, because one of the paradoxes that it actually solves is a paradox of prosperity. And we're able to achieve these things by implementing the tools and the strategies allowing us to do that today.